And, 3, and 2, and, 1.
What's up, YouTube? John without the H here, giving you some E3 thoughts. Sorry it took so long. I started a new job. Crazy amount of hours. But, we're back today. We're going to talk about E3, like I said, and
one of the first games that stick out to you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, there were, like, several games, but, I have, like, 5 games right here that, pretty good. I always go from least to, favorite, like, the one that just got me the most hype, but,
right.
I guess, my top 5, the first one had to be Days Gone.
Oh, man, right?
I first heard about it, and, at first, I'm getting kind of tired of zombie games. Last of Us is great, but I don't know, just kind of losing my interest. Just because they're so abundant now. And
that's true. They definitely,
go ahead.
Some of them do seem to differentiate themselves. But by all means.
Right, and I feel like Days Gone was one of those games.
Right.
I saw the trailer, and you're in like a train graveyard, I guess, in the trailer, and you walk on a little farther, and then you hear a sound, and dude turns around, and like the train just like bust open, and it was like I'm gonna say it was like 75 to 100 zombies coming at you, and I mean they were running.
Yeah.
So it seems like just one of those games where your butthole is gonna be like clenched and tight the entire time.
That's the way I like it.
I don't know about how you feel about it, but I'm excited about that game. What about you?
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to go ahead and just bring up another one. That Days Gone, when it first showed that trailer, I actually thought it was The Last of Us 2. I was really expecting it. So I guess they're going to be saving it for later, if there ever will be. But enough of that one. It definitely had that vibe to it. The first trailer I wasn't necessarily just sold on it. But when it showed that live gameplay trailer, I mean, watching it, they definitely had God mode on, I guess, for the sake of the conference.
Yeah, right.
But, wow, when the zombies started breaking out and you were using the environments to, dispose, put space in between, I hope they flesh that out. And it's not just barrels and, dropping some stuff. It definitely had a World War Z vibe to it. Or, 28 days and weeks later, which I'm waiting for the third one, if there ever will be. Those kinds of zombies. The slow, scary zombies, that was great for way back when. To me, the slow zombies, I like the thrill that the zombies running, not even caring about themselves. It's only them and you, and they are running for you.
It changes the way the game's played, really.
Yeah, it changes the way you have to react. You can't, no more running around them or anything. Like, you're trying to get away. So, them showing that, and supposedly, it's an open world, and they said it's going to be very environmental. Because you're not going to be able to take them all out. They showed that in that gameplay. And he was just mowing down, and they were falling down, but for every one he shot, there was 20 more. So,
yeah,
that aspect, I hope it delivers. I really do.
Me too. I mean, the way it looks like it's going to be, very good, at least on the aspect of, gameplay, thinking on your feet. I hope that, maybe the AI, like what you said, the God mode must have been on. Because the way the trailer looked, even though it looked scary, it did look kind of oversimplified, kind of like easy.
Yeah.
To take down the enemies. So I'm hoping when it launches, the zombies are, a little bit harder to kill. Maybe not too hard to where it's like,
yeah, it's going to require good balance.
But, yeah, definitely balance. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't think they have a release date yet. If they do, I don't know about it yet.
No, I think they pulled the same thing they done last year for 2015. Coming soon.
Coming soon?
Not what we're going to be playing this year, but we'll be playing in the future.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it don't take too long,
I hope it takes as long as it needs to be good. I've learned through Blizzard.
Yeah, that's true. That is definitely true. I guess we'll find out more, and when we do, we'll, or at least I'll talk about it more. That's about all I know about it so far.
Yeah, there wasn't really too much, just spoke about it over the E3 days. Yeah, it's open world, will be environmental. It's going to be about whoever that main protagonist was, living in that world.
Mm-hmm.
But, coming to a game that I was personally excited for, other than Days Gone, just got me super hyped. I have been waiting for it since, it had to have been 2010. It left on a cliffhanger. You were just overlooking the seas. Looked like the world had been filled with water. And then you hear the chains move. I was talking about the ending of God of War 3. And then, the opening of the fucking Sony press conference.
Yeah.
You get
what a beard, though.
Fucking, right. Epic fucking beard. Yeah, it just looked a little kid. I was thinking to myself, I really thought it was Horizon Days Zero Dawn. Damn, I think that's what it is. But then when the dad stepped out and it was fucking Kratos, man, that's a fucking beard. I squealed. Like, yee! I was so excited. I've been waiting for a sequel. Granted, we got Ascension, but it's a prequel. I knew Kratos wouldn't die, or if he did, he'll come right back. And this one, it takes place in Norse mythology. Now, after just closely watching it, I love, it looks like it's already got extreme polish to it. And it's definitely taken, this is about the fourth time we've already brought it up, The Last of Us. The camera's so much closer. Attention to detail, graphically it looks phenomenal. But he's taking his kid out, showing him how to hunt. Now he's talking about his mother. We didn't get to see her. The, one thing, they're probably trying to bridge the gap in between the first few games of God of War. They always had the Blaze of Chaos or whatever they were called in that game. But he used the axe. I guess it'll just take time for me to get used to it. But other than that, I was blown away with it. And even during moments of tension, when the big troll, I guess it was a troll or ogre or something, he was fighting it and he told the kid to kill it, and he gets shot in the arm or the shoulder. Like, even that tension right there at this early of a game still made me chuckle. Probably because I'm a parent, but after that, just watch the trailer, guys. They come over the horizon, the boy gets his kill, spoilers, then a dragon flies over. That's one, oh man, I can't wait to fight a dragon as Kratos, the god of fucking war. And then it just pans God of War. I don't know if that's the official title, or, God of War PS4 is what some of us are calling it. Oh my god, I'm just,
well, I definitely see it as being like, I don't know. It almost looks like, to me, almost like a sequel reboot, if that makes sense. It's almost like
a sequel. I can't throw it together right now. Sequel boot.
Just because of, I feel like, as the game presents, like the kid, and talking about, the kid's mother.
Yeah, wondering if he's passing it on, if they're trying to, get that to it, or they're gonna pull a Metal Gear 2. Kratos gonna die early and you're gonna play the kid. There's possibilities are endless.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now with me, I love God of War. I never beat God of War 3. I watched you beat it though. And it's really hard for me to beat a game I've already seen the ending to. So
understandable. I've yet to beat Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, I understand that. That's such a long game anyway. But back on God of War subject, I never played Ascension. Everybody who has listened to Gamers Gamble, the few of you or a lot of you that's out there, you know that I don't really like playing prequels. I just don't like prequels. So, other than Birth by Sleep, that's fine.
Okay. You rebutted yourself. There you go.
Yeah, anyway, off that topic for right now. We'll get back on that later. But, I'm just not a fan of prequels. But always wanted to see where the story left from there for Kratos.
Just to touch on that, from Kratos, didn't mean to...
No, go ahead.
Even during that, the animations, I was paying attention to, trying to some of the smaller things. Like, you could see kind of a wraith in the background in one scene. Like, there was a ghost overlooking. Don't know if it was his first wife or whatever. Maybe we'll see more into that. A lot of people have broken it down, scene by scene, or frame by frame. Just to go on, even when the kid gets the kill, and knowing what I know from the first 5 or 6 games, how much hurt he still has for his first family. Even when he's congratulating his son, you see his dad's coming, or he comes in for the kill, and he takes the kid's hand and, puts it into the deer's throat. The kid saddened, but knowing what they got to do to eat. You see the moment of hesitation there when he's about to put his hand on the kid's shoulder, but then he hesitates and he just puts it back, and then he says something. Just even that, the attention to detail, the small things like that, just going to show how much more of even that little aspect, how personal this is going to be. And I can't wait to dive head first into it, whether that's the opening or a few chapters in.
Wow, Phil, that's deep.
That's what she said.
No.
They've never said that.
They never said.
Well, John, you said you had 5. Let's hear number 4.
Let me see here. Well, number 4, of course, I just got to play the interactive trailer. I will not call that a demo. That is an interactive trailer. It came out, I guess about 3 weeks ago, or around the time E3 dropped, was Resident Evil 7.
Shut your mouth. Resident Evil 6, blasphemy.
Well, I love Resident Evil 6.
No, I did also.
I guess I'm one of the few people.
Following the masses.
I do have there are some major problems with 6, but again, that's a different subject for a different day. But, with 7, I'm not going to let the trailer discourage me, because they've already said that this was more like an interactive trailer or interactive game. It's not going to be based on like the game's going to play differently.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. The trailer was very PT-ish, which I love PT, but I think Resident Evil should have done something different other than, try to make it kind of superstitious. Because Resident Evil really isn't a superstitious game. I mean, it's about bacteria, or, like bacteria, like viruses and stuff like that.
Right.
So, I'm still hyped, because I'm always excited to see where else Resident Evil is going with the story. I really hope that Leon's in it. If he's not, I may not play it.
Well, then you got to get yourself into
17.
You have to get yourself into spoiler territory.
Yeah, definitely.
To find out about that. Supposedly they said it's in the Resident Evil universe, but it will not have any ties to the other games.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I mean, I'm still going to play it. I mean, again, they say that, but we'll see.
Right.
I really don't see them not going. I mean, maybe having a new character as your main character, but I really see, characters returning, at least one or two. That's just what I feel.
Right. Why would they try to break away from something so much? Even here recently, on the current gen, PS4 and Xbox One, not sure if they're doing them for PC, because they may already, be up to par on PC. But they've been re-releasing them. I'm gonna say not a 100% remaster, but guess bringing it up to 1080 at 60 frames a second. Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, and then coming soon to Resident Evil 4. I don't see why they would get everybody used to those, and then something drastically different.
So, I mean, to me, even having a new character is kind of weird for. Well, I guess it ain't too weird. I mean, but if you think about it, Resident Evil 1 and Origins was about as original characters as you got, because one was the first one.
Right.
And the other one was, the prequel to it.
Or Zero.
But if you think about it, like Resident Evil 2, Claire and Leon. Resident Evil 3 was Jill from the first one. Resident Evil 4 was Leon. Resident Evil 5 was Chris. Resident Evil 6 was all of them plus one new character, Jake. It just doesn't really make sense to me that they're going to use someone new when they hardly ever use someone new in a numbered title. So I guess we'll see. I'm still excited about it. I hope they go back to zombies. I'm ready to see zombies. I know zombies are played out, but I don't know. Resident Evil's just, to me, a little bit differently than like normal zombie titles that you see now. I'm ready to go back to.
Well, if we read into it just a little bit, I guess reading into it thematically, if that's a word, what the Japanese name for it is, don't you?
Yeah, Biohazard, yeah.
Right. So if this one wasn't necessarily just zombies, but something having to do with biological,
right,
hazardous, whatever, crazy psychopaths. I'm not going to say just inbred too much, but I guess that would be biological. I don't know. There was definitely that psychopath. And, we, in the Resident Evil 7 demo, interactive trailer, whatever you want to call it, the beginning hour, got the VHS tape, and it says, get out of the house. We never got to do that. Maybe we never will. But there are still items in that interactive trailer, if you will, that we're not able to use yet. They have released a press release later on, I believe it was last week, probably July 4th, maybe a little bit earlier, the week prior. It says we're not able to use them yet. So maybe it'll do the same thing as the Final Fantasy Deus, whatever that one was called. It'll get an update later.
Episode 15, updates and stuff.
Right. Maybe the episode.
Well, that would be neat. That would be cool. Especially to kind of keep your audience, fresh, other than, I think the release date's February, so that's what, 8 months away. So
that's
maybe release one every 2 months, to kind of keep it fresh. I think that would be pretty smart, or even 4 months away.
Well, it was around this time last year. They said they were there's definitely a new Resident Evil coming. So this isn't just a fresh product, and they're not rushing it out. They've been working on this for a year or so. Maybe even more, trying to take it back. They've said repeatedly, time and time again, that they've taken critiques from Resident Evil 6, and they're applying it to this new game. So maybe they'll be able to flesh out and make something more, return Resident Evil to, its glory. It's still a Gamerz household name, but from yesteryear. Maybe it'll return it to the roots.
No, I mean, talking about that, yeah, I could definitely, I could get into maybe, I don't know. I do want to see them return to the roots, but more like Resident Evil 4, because to me that was iconic in its own right. I mean...
Oh, we definitely got to talk about Resident Evil 4 sometime.
Over the top shoulder, or the over-the-top camera.
That was a genre changer. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, over-the-top camera's fun, but man, I got sick of those controls, and
every game released after that?
Myself. Yeah, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I would definitely want to see them go back to Resident Evil 4 standards. But I guess we'll see. I'm just definitely going to stay tuned, and I'm going to pre-order it when I think it's available now. So I'm definitely going to pre-order it here soon.
Right. Well, we got till February, so that's at least 7, close to 8 months.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you about a game.
I want you, Philip. I want you to tell me about a game.
I got you. This game, you grab an object, zombies, still, constantly. I guess zombie games, but this game took zombie games and just made it. Every time a new title comes out from this franchise, it makes it fresh to me again. I've never gotten old of any of these games. I'm talking about Dead Rising. We haven't seen much, but Frank West is back. He's close to 50, and he's returned to Wilmot, the place of the first Dead Rising. Now, it's in a Christmas setting. Thousands more blueprints. Awesome. Making it more accessible. And accessibility, I'll bring right back to it. Let's see. Now you're adding mech suits to it, giving that extra power, that extra oomph. In the trailer, and in some gameplay, he has the mech suit on, and he's able to rip a sign out of the concrete. And wheel the car. Awesome. Yeah. So you're ripping signs off walls and everything else. So the interactivity of it is just increasingly. Also, in other interviews from E3, they said they've reworked the animation system and everything else and done it to where they can add, if I'm not wrong, 3 times the amount of zombies on screen as previous titles.
Well, it's only getting more and more powerful every time it comes around.
I hope the engine runs well. Apparently, on Dead Rising 3 on Xbox One, it didn't run as fluent. I never had, maybe a few hiccups here and there, but the game was definitely beyond playable. I enjoyed every minute of it. I think that's one of the few games besides the multiplayer that I can't really say platinumed. I got the full gamer score for it. And I plan on doing it for Dead Rising 4. I hope there's a multiplayer aspect. You and I had very little time on Dead Rising 3 multiplayer. I hope to continue that with Dead Rising 4.
Yeah, I would definitely. I had a lot of fun. That was about the only game I really had a lot of fun on my Xbox One. So, Sunset Overdrive was good too, but Dead Rising was a special monster. I mean, it was just fun to play, and I never beat the first 2. So for me to go and play the third one and actually play it religiously until I beat it, that shows you a lot of how far that they went in as a game, how much they've grown and how much that they have polished the game.
Well,
to turn it into the monster
3,
now.
and 4 now are being done by a different team than 1. They're definitely moving away from the difficulty of 1. And somewhat of 2.
1 was just god awful. I mean,
it was really
liked
hard.
1. I meant like the difficulty was just god awful. Like, and I didn't know where to go.
Right. Some people loved
what I'm saying
that about
is,
it.
Like, it seems like every game is getting better. Like, Dead Rising 2 was still fun, but I couldn't beat it. And then, Dead Rising 3 was just a fantastic, well-written game. Not only was it well-written, but, it was just well done in general.
Right.
So, watching the Dead Rising 4, trailer and some of the stuff about it, I was more blown away. It made me want an Xbox One again. I'm not going to say that game alone is going to make me want to buy one, but,
there's always
made me want to buy one.
There's always some form of cheese in everything you do in Dead Rising. So, and I hope they will definitely continue that. Just add mechs to it. They're not definitely trying to go real world with it. But.
And that's good.
Right.
Some zombie games don't, having realistic zombie games like 7 Days to Die and, what is the other game? State of Decay. It's fun. It is fun. But, you gotta give some type of, awesome element. Like, you're about to kick these zombies' ass and there's nothing they can do about it. We need that.
Right. It needs something for everybody. You need the simulation aspect for some of them, and then you need the arcadey fun of others. And Dead Rising definitely brings the arcadey, and I love it for it. One reason why I enjoy Saints Row over Grand Theft Auto. Anyways, John. Your next game. Please, explain.
My next game. Another one. I completely marked out for this. I was blown away. And, I'm just gonna get to the point. It's World of Final Fantasy. I've been hearing a lot more positive than negative. Most of the negative is just how the characters um, like how the characters look, because they're kind of like pops, the kind of like little figures that you buy with the big heads. You do have main characters, and they look like humanoids, but the Final Fantasy characters, which so far I've seen a lot of them, like Squall, I've seen Cloud, Celeste, I think from Final Fantasy IV, which was awesome and unexpected. But all the Final Fantasy characters look like the Pops. But looking at it, it seems like they went back to doing an RPG element.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've all been RPG. What do you mean, turn-based?
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Yeah, turn-based RPG element. I'm not talking about like 13 turn-based either. I'm talking about like actual like
well,
Final Fantasy.
That's ATB, active time-based.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you're right, but more like Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, just kind of like.
Well, those are ATB also.
Huh?
Those are ATB also.
Well, it's still considered. You can actually turn the ATB off though, and turn it on turn-based.
I'll put it on wait. Yeah, instead of active.
Yeah, no, actually wait. There's actually like a bar that, that's why, I call it turn-based, because most of the time I turn that off. I like the turn-based aspect better. But,
what about that game that just really blows you away? I don't really know much about it.
Just so far, like, it's really graphically beautiful, considering that the Final Fantasy characters look like Pops.
Right.
It seems like they put quite a bit of work in this game, and I haven't heard nothing about it, so it's kind of a surprise.
Right.
I was expecting just to see something Kingdom Hearts and something,
So it's almost Kingdom Hearts-esque, but with all Final Fantasy characters?
Yeah, but we just don't know how many.
Right.
We still don't know what the story is, but, what surprised me and what got me so excited was the release date. And I think it's October 17th.
Oh, really?
It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, I think they showed it off last year, but I haven't talked about it much.
I don't remember hearing anything about it last year. If there was a small trailer.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it. And then it's just like, boom, here it is. And I was like, well, that'll be a great game to play next year. And then it was like October, I think it was like 17th or 18th one. And it was like, oh shit, well, at least I get like 15 days of Final Fantasy 15,
Right.
I'm never gonna get to play Destiny from like September 30th to like February.
Hey man, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. I'll get back on Destiny.
Of course we will. We all will. Most of the time. We come back one way or another.
Other than that, like, I'm excited about it. I still don't know too much about it. I just know that it got my little goosebumps tingling.
Right.
And that's all that matters. Whatever gets your goosebumps tingling.
That's definitely what gets you excited about it.
So anyway, I wish I could talk more about it, and I'm sorry, for the people listening to this that it's, that's about all I gotta say on it, but I promise you this, when I do find out more about it, you will hear about Final Fantasy from me. Sometimes you can't get me to shut up about it. So, I guess that's all I got for World of Final Fantasy. As I say, guys, go ahead and pre-order it. It comes out October 17th or 18th, something like that, so just give you a heads up. So, anyway, Phil, what's next for you, man?
I was expecting this next title, I was expecting to hear a little bit about, not near as much as I actually did. I don't think, a few people would object, but that would be Nintendo and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Blew me away, and I know it blew numerous people out of the water. Just when people walked, have you seen screenshots of the people playing it? Like the area surrounding it? It looked like they were actually in Hyrule. Just all the way around, aesthetic, cosmetically. And even playing the game. Everybody got to play it for an hour. And each trailer I watched or gameplay of it made me even more excited. The only thing now to decide on it, well, let me explain why I'm excited for it. It's definitely I'm going to be hung for this, but, like Fallout or Assassin's Creed or Shadows of Mordor areas you're taking over. It got that survival aspect to it, but with the Zelda twist. And that excites me. If you've played any of those games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I was blown away by... I can't understate how fun and different it looked. I was let down by Skyward Sword. Not story-wise, but as disconnected as each and every area were. And
it was
this
a disconnected game. I agree.
Also, I'm a video gamer, and hell, hold my arms up was making my blood rush everywhere but my arm.
Yeah.
And it's like they've taken every negative aspect from Skyward Sword and brought it into Breath of the Wild. I already love the look of it and the gameplay. I mean, he's jumping on a shield and sliding down. Great. Instead of people just usually just sliding, falling back and sliding down or something. There's a magnet. You're using it to open-ended puzzle solving. Supposedly, they said you can finish the game without playing any story, although you won't get the story with it. So it's that open-ended. Something that sounds like they kind of pushed forward on from, what was the last 3DS game? Link Between Worlds. You can go to any dungeon.
I've yet to play that too.
You can go to any dungeon, or you can go to a shop and rent the item from that dungeon. That way, so you can just jump in between. The open-endedness of it, I'm excited. So excited. Although, I should be used to it. Like I said, the game previously I was speaking about, Dead Rising 4. Items are breaking, so I want to see... I guess that'll just keep us instead of staying with just one master item. Or maybe just... there's so many questions, and we have so little answers, and I want to know more about it. The only one of the major questions now is, what is the NX, and should I get Legend of Zelda? Will it be a day one title? Will it be a few months title? Will it come out for Wii U first? Because if so, we'll get it on Wii U. If not, see what the difference is, I may have to get on the NX. But please, guys, if you hear this, and you're unaware of what Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is, look into it from the E3 2016.
You will be blown away. It's exciting.
Yes.
Definitely is that. I know when I saw it, surprising enough, it didn't even make my list, but, I have a tattoo of it, so that shows you how much I love Zelda.
The Triforce?
Yeah, Triforce and Master Sword. And when I found out about it, and seeing the massive, I think it was the first one, I think it was earlier, or later on, I'm getting tongue-tied, I'm sorry guys. It was like winter time last year when they first showed that first trailer where it showed him running through the woods and stuff, and like his horse was like missing the trees on purpose. I remember hitting trees in Ocarina of Time and like shit,
Yeah, just making you stumble and whatnot.
Oh, you keep hearing Epona hitting the tree like it's attacking it. It's like
right,
slows down everything. So I mean that was a neat feature to see. I knew then that we were looking at something that was going to change how we played Zelda. Then when this came out, the Breath of the Wild, and I watched the trailer and stuff and seen all the features, it's like, well, the Links that we played as children, or the Zeldas, they're done. These are going to be the future.
Just sticking with that part right there, I'll let you go ahead and come back. People have broken down pieces of it from the trailer and the gameplay, and it seems to be after Wind Waker, because the Kikori become those little wood people, and they see them in the trailer. So maybe it's the Wind Waker storyline, which I don't remember if that's the where the hero falls or not. I think so, because Wind Waker, everything was overrun by water.
Wind Waker is when I think the what I read fails. Was the no, it wasn't where he died.
Maybe.
It was
we'll look into it more.
Yeah, it's something. Anyway, where I was getting at was it looks like a good game. I think it's going to change the way that we play Zelda, and I think that's for the good. I love Nintendo, but I think we've talked about it many times before. I think there's a staleness growing. Mario's the same game every year. Zelda was turning into the same every year, just with different enemies and a few changes, but not really a lot. And I think to be able to go and fight that final boss, at the very beginning of the game, is going to show like this change. And I think it's a change that
hopefully it's a genre changer.
I hope so. I hope so. And you talking about the Wii U or NX? I will be getting an NX before I get a Wii U again. So if it comes
especially
out
if it's backwards compatible.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to the NX. So I'll wait for the NX version to drop. I hope the Wii U version doesn't come out first. I hope they come out kind of the same time, but I guess we'll see.
Right. Yeah, I believe if they want the NX to perform well, at least at first, it should be a day one title, or at least month one. Anyways,
I agree.
We've been going back and forth. Number ones, talking about E3 2016. What is your number one? Or do you want me to go next?
Oh, well, I still had two more left.
Oh, my bad.
But this one is we've already known about, so, we don't have to really go into detail with this. It's just part of my number two, and then we can skip to number one. I don't really care.
Okay.
But, my number two was Kingdom Hearts 2.8. We knew it was coming.
Right.
What got me more excited about it was I thought it was just Dream Drop Distance and like a storyline talking about how the war came to be and how Xehanort rose to power, or at least how Xehanort came to be. My big surprise was when I saw the Birth by Sleep 2.
That's point two.
Or point two, whatever. Anyway, you get to play as my favorite character of the series, Aqua.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really excited to see where that story goes.
Now,
as much as I don't want... Oh, go ahead.
There was
Sorry.
Just a little information. There was a Famitsu, well, this is actually after the E3 was gone and over with, but a Famitsu art interview with it, released later, and after, post E3, stating that people were assuming that Birth by Sleep point two, or I'm pretty sure it's point two. Anyways, the Aqua story was just going to be a 15, 20 minute, maybe 30 minute gameplay of it. No, he said it's as long as any Kingdom Hearts world. So 2-3 hours. People are actually surprised. And it's more than just one world that you get to play through as Aqua. Maybe they're all 15, 20, 30 minutes. But it's a 2 or 3 hour campaign of what happens after Birth by Sleep.
Well, even if it is only 2 or 3 hours, to me that's...
Well, they said... Look, I can't remember his name. It's... Playing it will lead directly into... You'll have a better understanding for Kingdom Hearts 3. He said after 2.8, will be 3. So, we will dive... I know I will. I will dive headlong into 2.8.
Mm-hmm. As you should. As you should. Well, I guess, for my number one, will have to be Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, what do you mean?
I found out that there was a Ratchet and Clank that people, I can't remember the name.
Insomniac.
Insomniac, that's it.
People you loved, Sunset Overdrive for.
Yeah, Sunset Overdrive, Ratchet and Clank. So far, every game that they have touched, I've really... So, and not just a little bit, I've really enjoyed their game series. And then I saw the trailer for Spider-Man. Of course, McPhil knows Spider-Man's my favorite superhero.
Can confirm.
When I heard and saw like all him just moving through the city and that outfit, man, oh God!
I think some people are upset about it. I personally love that outfit.
Well, people also need to account for Spider-Man at least, because I've read the same post. Spider-Man's had like 20 different costumes in his life. Like, he's got a costume for everything. He's got a costume with the Fantastic Four. So why? Yeah, I just don't understand the whole, like, hate thing with different costumes, especially when there's a hero that has a lot of them. You know, it just, I don't know. I don't know where people get this hate from.
When I was being raised, Spider-Man to me was, besides Superman, the American hero. It's not a debate. But for him to be wielding the red, white, and blue colors, even helps solidify that even more so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the big.
I still don't know. Well, I still don't know much about the game.
Not many people do.
It's still early.
Yeah.
We just saw, gameplay footage, of him like running through a shop to catch a burglar, and people were trying to get out of the way. I just love that detail. And I feel like that would be something that would actually happen, in a comic book. Just reading it.
Well, we do know that it will not come out around the same time as the movie. It's not trying to capitalize on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's its own universe, so they have free range to do what they want.
Oh, that's awesome. Spider-Man takes a lot of heat for his video games, but to me, the last couple of Spider-Man games were really good.
Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a good game. I think it was a lot glitchier than the first one.
It's not the experience I remember you having.
Yeah.
It may have been towards the very end, but I remember one time you looking at me, which may not be just the whole experience you had with the game, but you were kind of wanted to go get it over with. But you were having fun with the costumes.
It was really repetitive. I do remember that. Yeah, the story itself though was good, and I guess playing the first one, I was expecting to play the first one again, and that wasn't what I had. But I guess the experience now that I look back at it was pretty good. Just I can't remember now. It's been so long. And drugs. Don't do drugs. Anyway.
Yeah, overall, Spider-Man, that actually surprised me. It was probably about a month or so before E3 where people were saying it was the guys that were doing the Infamous games were making the Spider-Man game. But when the reveal came and it was Ratchet and Clank guys, Insomniac. Okay, yeah, Insomniac. That was a surprise. But trailer-wise, it definitely stood out. I don't know if it'll be VR. That'll be messing with my head.
I would, yeah, same here. I will have, I'd be like, I'm feeling dizzy all of a sudden, and then I would faint.
How can Spider-Man not throw up? Right. Anywho.
Trying to think, what else, Philip? What else was on E3?
My number one, wow, just sitting there talking about them, I have 3 zombie games. Just sitting there looking at my list of top 5 I definitely wanted to talk about. And the last game on my list, have you ever just played a game and imagined what you wanted in this game is always what you needed, but it was not as good as you have always imagined. And then the sequel is announced, and everything you wanted, they showed in the minute trailer. That game I'm talking about is State of Decay 2. State of Decay 1 was definitely a zombie apocalypse survival game. You got survivors, you went around looting houses and whatnot, trying to get food, ammunition, rations, electricity, pass on education, train people, all that in a select spot. Actually, I'm about to load it up right now. The zombie survival. And then the trailer comes out. They're doing all this. There's several people. They're looting. They're throwing stuff in the back of the truck. and then it shows somebody else, and then they pop a flare in the air. You go help them people. It's somebody else online. I can't wait. Somebody else. In multiplayer is what would have made State of Decay 2 better. Well, among other things. I mean, State of Decay 1 better. But, among other things, but multiplayer is definitely what I wanted from the first one. And they are including it in part 2. I'm not sure to what extent. Like, if you only have one save file for a multiple of people. But, I'm letting my dreams run wild here because it's what I wanted. I'm so excited for State of Decay 2. I hope the world is even bigger, more robust, and even more dense. State of Decay, yeah, it was just one of those games where I got so many people, and I was consuming so much food and ammunition that I was taking people. This is really messed up. I'm a bad leader for this, but I was taking people that used to smoke and they had negative side effects, like their stamina would never be as good as a person who never did smoke, or an athletic person who had boosted stamina. And I would take everything off that person's and give them one grenade, jump in a car that was pretty much already broken down, run around, honk the horn, get as many zombies as I could, and just throw that grenade on the ground.
That's awesome.
Right. And it was just, it allowed you to do that.
I never got to play State of Decay. When I had it back Xbox One, you almost talked me into buying it, but around that time, I think I ended up selling it. Well, I did sell it to you, but I wish I would have bought it and played it.
The gameplay, the Let's Play you watched, could have went a totally different place. I played. I made about 5 or 6 different bases and decided on the warehouse because it had the most areas. But there was, I can't wait for it again. I love the actual Army DLC that come out, and I can't wait to jump into it and know more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, oh, God, I don't necessarily hate, really dislike that, we cut it down to 5 games, but these are the games that definitely just got those goosebumps going, as you said earlier, John. There's always more we could definitely talk about, and maybe we will later on, but these are our top 5 games for E3 2016, and go ahead.
Also, before we get off here, though, me and McPhil was talking before we started the cast, or the YouTube cast, whatever you want to call it. This, to me, has been one of the biggest E3s I think I've seen in a couple of years. And if the first quarter, there wasn't too many games. There was some games, but not many. But just by the titles alone, from now to December, I think this is the biggest E3 and the biggest year we'll see.
Until next year. Resident Evil, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, I even say, I will say more titles that I'm excited about than I've ever been before. Not so much, Kingdom Hearts 3 will be hype. I will take weeks vacation just for this game. There are games I'm more excited about that are coming, but, I did the math. There's 10 games coming out this year that I want. That never happens. And I think that's just a really good year, and I think that's, amazing. So, I'm done, talking about that, but I would love to hear, people's other comments. So, if you hear this podcast, comment, let us know what your top 5 are. I would love to hear them. I would even love to talk about them. So.
Oh yeah, guys. Automatic. Well, there's so much more we could talk about with time restraints kicking in.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
E3 2016, now a little bit, about a month, a little bit less than a month over with. Still talking about those games just gets me so excited. And it's conferences and the whole aspect of what E3 embodies, and I hope it doesn't necessarily change. It's in a weird transition at the moment, E3 I'm talking about. But I hope it still, spiritually still stays the same. E3 is Christmas to me, as a gamer. And E3 2016 was fantastic, and I'm already looking forward to 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
same here.
Guys, I'm Game Grader, or you can call me McPhil. It's whatever. That's my